What if Charlie No Face, Candyman, the man who defied gravity, or the monstrous figure stalking the woods were all horrifyingly real? Tonight, we unravel 7 urban legends that seemed too terrifying to be true, but ended up proven to be. Stay with us, because the truth behind these stories is more twisted and terrifying than anything you've heard before. Charlie No Face. The urban legend of Charlie No Face, also known as the Green Man, terrified people for generations in western Pennsylvania. People told stories about a horrifying, disfigured man who roamed the highways at night. He was said to have been burned in a fire, struck by lightning, or disfigured in a power plant accident. These stories turned out to be based on a real person named Ray Robinson. As a child in 1919, Robinson was climbing a trolley trestle when he touched a live wire and was severely electrocuted. He survived, but he lost his nose, lips, ears, and eyes, and one of his hands. Robinson was ostracized by society due to his appearance. His family would even eat their meals separately from him. As he got older, he began taking walks at night to avoid attention. People started seeking him out, but not everyone was kind. Some people would beat him up, give him beer with urine in it, and abandon him in remote areas. Robinson's nighttime walks along Route 351 in Beaver County are what led to the urban legend of Charlie No Face. Though his appearance may have been frightening, those who spent time with him found him to be a kind and gentle person. The Leaping Lawyer. The story of the Leaping Lawyer is a popular urban legend in Toronto. It tells the tale of a lawyer who would habitually throw himself against his office windows to demonstrate their strength to visitors. Tragically, the stunt backfired, and the lawyer fell to his death. This isn't just a story, it actually happened in 1993. The lawyer's name was Gary Hoy, and he was a senior partner at the law firm of Holden Day Wilson. The firm's office was on the 24th floor of the Toronto Dominion Bank Tower. On a Friday evening, Hoy was giving a tour to a group of articling students. He threw himself against a window, as he had done many times before. The window popped out of its frame, sending Hoy plummeting to the courtyard below. Hoy's death was ruled death by misadventure. The incident was traumatic for the witnesses, and 30 lawyers left the firm after it occurred. One eyewitness described looking down from his office and seeing a halo of blood around Hoy's head. 3 years later, the firm closed its doors for good. Hoy's death was a contributing factor in the closure. Cropsey. The urban legend of Cropsey, a menacing figure who haunted Staten Island and kidnapped children, was a well-known cautionary tale in the 1970s. The legend said that Cropsey lived in the abandoned buildings of the Willowbrook Mental Institution, and he was described as a scary figure with a hook for a hand and scars or burns on his face and body. Some people thought the Cropsey legend originated with Andre Rand, a former Willowbrook worker who was arrested in 1987 for the kidnapping of Jennifer Schweiger, a 12-year-old girl with Down syndrome. Rand was convicted of her kidnapping, and Jennifer's body was later found on the grounds of Willowbrook. Rand is suspected of being involved in the disappearances of other children during the 1970s and 1980s, but he was only convicted in connection with Jennifer Schweiger and another girl, Holly Ann Hughes. Although people often told the story of Cropsey to scare each other, the legend turned out to be connected to real events. The Maine Hermit. For 27 years, a mysterious figure lived undetected in the woods of central Maine. This figure, known as the North Pond Hermit, was responsible for countless robberies of food, batteries, and other supplies from nearby cabins. The residents noticed that their belongings were going missing, and rumors of a hermit living in the woods started to circulate. In 2013, the hermit, whose real name was Christopher Thomas Knight, was finally apprehended by a game warden. He was clean-shaven and wearing tidy clothing, which was surprising to the warden, considering he had been living in the woods for almost 3 decades. Knight estimated that he committed about 40 robberies a year. Knight's story captivated the public. Some people found it difficult to believe that he could have survived in the harsh Maine winters. His campsite, which was hidden inside a ring of boulders and hemlock trees, was discovered and was found to be full of items that had been stolen from the nearby cabins. While in jail, Knight granted an interview to journalist Michael Finkel. Finkel's book about Knight, The Stranger in the Woods, The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit, explores Knight's motives for living in isolation. A link to the book is available in the description below. A real-life horror, The Candyman and the Medicine Cabinet. The 1992 horror film, Candyman, based on a short story by Clive Barker, tells the story of a vengeful spirit who haunts the Cabrini Green housing project in Chicago. While the movie is fictional, the terrifying idea of a killer entering an apartment through the medicine cabinet is a true story. In 1987, a Chicago woman named Ruthie Mae McCoy was murdered in her apartment in the Grace Abbott Homes, a dangerous high-rise in the ABLA housing project. The killers entered McCoy's apartment by removing the medicine cabinet in the apartment next door and breaking through the wall. The medicine cabinets were installed this way to allow plumbers easy access to the pipes. This design flaw allowed burglars, and in this case killers, easy entry to apartments. This real-life horror story became the basis for the frightening scene in Candyman, where the titular villain emerges from a medicine cabinet. The body under the bed. The urban legend of finding a dead body under a hotel bed is more than just a scary story. Sometimes this terrifying scenario really does happen. The imagined setting is often Las Vegas, and that's because of its reputation as the Sin City of the United States. So people find it believable that a corpse would go undiscovered there. In reality, unsuspecting travelers in places like Florida and New Jersey have spent the night sleeping above a corpse and noticed a foul smell. This also happened to guests of a budget-inn motel in Memphis, Tennessee in 2010. The body of Soni Millbrook, a missing person, was discovered in the frame of a bed 7 weeks after she disappeared. Even though the room was cleaned and rented several times after Millbrook went missing, her body remained. In 1982, a similar incident occurred at a motel in North Bergen, New Jersey. Guests noticed the smell, but they did not look under the bed. The Hanging Man. The story of Elmer McCurdy is a bizarre tale of an outlaw whose corpse took on a surprising second life. In 1911, McCurdy was killed in a shootout with a posse after robbing a train in Oklahoma. After he was embalmed, the undertaker who prepared his body decided to display it, charging people a nickel to see the bandit who wouldn't give up. Carnival promoters tried to buy the body, but the undertaker refused to sell, as the corpse was generating steady income for him. Eventually, 2 men posing as McCurdy's brothers took the body, claiming they wanted to bury him. In reality, these men were carnival promoters, and they took the body on tour throughout Texas, displaying it under the same billing that the undertaker had used. After the tour, McCurdy's body was featured in various attractions, including an amusement park near Mount Rushmore, a Los Angeles wax museum, and some low-budget films. In 1976, McCurdy's corpse, which had been mistaken for a prop, was found hanging in a funhouse at the New Pike Amusement Park in Long Beach, California, by a camera crew that was filming an episode of The $6 Million Man. The corpse was finally laid to rest in Guthrie, Oklahoma in 1977. To make sure that no one would ever attempt to display the body again, 2 cubic yards of cement were poured over the coffin. Urban legends remind us of our fears, but when they're rooted in reality, they reveal the fragility of life. Which of these stories sent shivers down your spine? Let us know in the comments. We're Nightwatch Files, your main source of well-researched eerie tales of the unknown. If that's the type of content you're looking for, stick around by subscribing and never missing a new video every week. And don't forget to like and hit that bell for more tales that blur the line between myth and truth. Until next time, stay curious and stay cautious, because you never know what's lurking in the shadows.